70% of our volume in those 4 months. Why? Because we're projecting that there's a time limit, that there's great value, that there's incentives. Well, if that's what needs to happen right now to kick off the season, to get some pulls in the ground, to get some referrals, you and your team need to figure it out. How come? Look at the market, see what we need to do to compete. You know, we do have some advantages. We're paying less for our three starter package for equipment than anybody in the nation by far. I know for a fact that Heritage and Pool Corp has dropped their profit margins to 2% on a lot of stuff to be able to get our account. What are we doing to leverage that? Those are things that the other guys are not getting that. They're just taking no profit. They're working for cash flow. So we may have to drop our profit a little bit, maneuver a little bit. We still have some leados out there. Like I said, I'm going to have some attractive programs, some really exciting, attractive programs for high quality product next week on our Hydura program. But really, don't wait for, I want the cheapest products so I can sell cheap. Just think about how you can outmaneuver and you can create more value and make the customers feel smart for doing business with us today. Go ahead, Brian.
So as we go into this, I wanted you guys to take this data and really think about it, because here's kind of another interesting point as we go forward. Because I assure you guys, we can get there. We've designed everything in our system to get to these points, to open up that middle market as we go forward. We had less leads than we do today in the last. Basically, when the industry was doing 117,000, when the industry was doing 98,000, we had less leads than we do today. The last 3 years, we've consistently drawn 100,000 leads. Are they there? Absolutely. Is it competitive? Yes. You want to know the difference between then and now? You might have only competed against 1 or 2 guys, or even guys that didn't show up. Now you're probably competing against 5 other pool companies, 7 other pool companies, who knows? So yes, you've got to get a lot more aggressive, but there's going to be a winner. Pools are still being built on out there. There's tremendous stories out there. If you look what Huntsville is doing in the Premier organization, if you look what Nashville South is doing in the Premier organization, there's offices that are absolutely doing some phenomenal things on out there. We can find ways to win as we go forward. And that is what it comes down to. It's ultimately in your hands to find ways to win. Now, how do we do this? Tools, guys. Tools, research, know your trade, become an expert of your trade as you guys end up going forward. Now, we launched a couple weeks ago, actually about a month ago now, the TriWave Hub. This is the replacement for the repo. The repo is effectively no more. This is the TriWave Hub. It has got a linear learning system where you guys can hop onto the LMS. We've actually got the 101 sales training courses starting another cycle next week. But this is where you start for the core. You can speak with confidence in the house when you know what you're talking about. If you do not know off of your head, how much does a slide cost? How much does a firebowl cost? What is the advantage of a saltwater system to a customer? If you do not know every conceivable answer that customer is going to ask, you are disarming yourself in a large way, because I'll bet you one of your members of the competition probably does know these things. And so you'll come across less proficient to the customer. What we've done with the new construction presentation that is on out there, we have gone sincerely video heavy. We're going to continue to add more and more videos. All I can ask for you guys is go into the sandbox, learn, find out who your PFM team members are, find out what is on the Premier University. You guys should be checking these out. Don't just watch it once. What the sales training is going to mean to you 6 months from now is going to be radically different, because your skill set will be different. The other thing is we are literally launching new programs weekly. As you saw the summit, there was so many new things that were launched on out there. You guys need to hop on the TriWave Hub. Simply spoken, TriWaveHub.com. That's how you get there. How do you log in? It's your email login. Very simple, single source of contact. Direct access to everything from vendor pages to the TriWave Hub shop, brand guidelines, ticket submissions, PFM news, training resources, corporate updates, templates, which that's impactful. And then events as far as what is going on. This is going to be one of our central ways of communicating with you. The other way is of course, Slack. But one of the neat things, if you notice, if you go to TriWaveHub.com, even on your phone right now, it is highly mobile friendly. all the sales numbers are going to be here. The next step we've got the top 50 salespeople here by sales and digs, and we're going to have the top offices by sales and digs very soon as well. Why do we do this? Because guys, there's people out there winning. These are the offices that you want to reach out to. Shoot, man, Scott's been in the business. Scott Haslip's been in the business 2 years now. Yeah, dude, he's doing something to find ways to win, right? Those are the guys that you want to reach out to, find out, hey, what are you doing? Where are we missing? Where can I possibly improve myself? That's always a good place to start, right? Learn from the best that's on out there. And it certainly spurs competition as we end up going forward. But the top 50 is one of the many things that is on the TriWave Hub. And let it serve as an inspiration to you that there are ways to do things. Which you guys are also got to understand. When a guy like Scott is doing $3.5 million, that's since September. That is since September 1. That's not a calendar year. That is since September 1. So again, it shows you guys what can be done as we end up going forward. There's also the TriWave Hub shop where things like signs, brochures, clothing, this, that, the order can be ordered. And there's going to be more and more as we populate throughout the year on vendor programs and things of that nature. The idea being, I would be remiss if I thought 5% of our offices were passing out flyers right now. It's probably like 1%. Why do I like flyers? Well, it's old school, but it's highly targeted. If you don't have leads, if you don't have high quality leads, guess what? There's other ways to get things. Now, I get it. We're about to hit season, but realistically, the time to hit this is now. Your returns are going to be the best. Your return, by the way, on flyers is about 1% to 2%. You're probably thinking, well, shoot, 1% to 2% sounds really bad. Well, it's not. If you can pass out 1,000 flyers a day, which is going to take you all day to do, you're going to get 10 to 20 leads. And depending on your closing rate, that could be $10,000 that you could sell because of that day. Guys, there's ways to win. If you want to win, you got to determine in your mind, do you want to win? Do you want to find a way to do it, right? Complaining solves nothing. So make sure that you guys are reaching out and using the resources. Another way to do things is the social media aspect. Again, we've got lots of tools for you guys here. One of the things that we've done and collected is lots and lots, and it's available in the TriWave Hub, lots of photos, lots of videos. You guys can upload your photos and videos to this point, but what you can also do is set up your own salesperson's page. We've got lots of resources, lots of videos for you guys to share. All you got to do, because we're going to help you do it, submit a ticket with your Premier Pools and Spas or Pinnacle email. Once your page is created, you'll receive an invitation for access, and boom, you are in business. You are a sales army of one. And what you guys get to go on and do out there is every time you're out at a dig, every time you're out there doing something interesting, here's what you should do is just a general strategy. Post about what you do once a week, which can be digs, videos, design. Post about the local area once a week. What is local to your area? Did you guys do a chili cook-off this week? Did you guys have a great Mexican? Post about your local area, right? Something in your local area. Third, post something about you that makes you a real person. If you just did that very simple strategy, you would build a following as you go forward and thus creating additional lead flow. Very simple, guys. I bet you can do it in about half hour in a week, maybe less if you really get good at it. But again, the resources here, I cannot make you pick it up. I cannot make you guys do it. That is entirely up to you. Salesperson pages, when you do your posts, make sure you guys do a couple things. Tag your home office. SEO and AIO, which is basically AI optimization, which is the game these days, they rely on these things. They want to be SEO centric, tagging your posts. The more, it's a big popularity contest like it's always been, but tag your local office. It becomes something that helps everybody. And again, when you see another Premier or Pinnacle's office out there, share their stuff. Get them to share your stuff. It starts to create a little bit of a frenzy and it becomes viral as you end up going forward. Strategy, again, more resources and knowledge as you go forward. What are some of the keywords that you want to put in your captions? In-ground pools. And again, remember how I said make it local? Nashville pool builders in Tampa, right? So on and so forth. These are the terms that you want to do to start to relate. Again, there's a couple thousand people in this organization. If we had just 10% of the offices engaging in something like this, it would actually massively increase lead flow overall. Engage in the tools that are on out there. Remember how I was talking about, are you armed with the best tools? I would hope at this point in time that everybody has the 2026 construction template. The 2026 construction presentation template is meant to be edited so that you can tell your own story. It's got a lot of the good foundation, but what you've ultimately got to do is tell your story, the family story that you guys have got going in your office. You've got to have local pictures incorporated into that. You've got to have the office incorporated into that, right? You've got the best of having the power and the force behind you of Premier and Pinnacle and the PFM Nation, but the story must ultimately be about you. Where do you get this new construction presentation now that now has about a half dozen videos embedded in it? The TriWave Hub, which is exactly the place that it's been since the summit. We are converting to doing most everything that we do on tablet as we go forward. Make sure you get it if you've not gotten it yet. Let's talk about training. Training is how you get better at something. You have to do something many times over. And every time you do it, you refine. You get a little bit better. You become a little bit quicker in the pitch. You get a little bit quicker in the rebuttal, right? This shows profession. Starting tomorrow, which is Friday, we've got our first, tomorrow is Friday. We've got our first cycle over on the new series. This is a 101 course. This is a rebrushing over the next 3 weeks. There's about 30 videos in the series. It's meant to go back to some of the fundamentals. Always a good place to start before we go into the advanced stuff. We're going to talk about some things like hydraulics, customer communication, lead management, equipment for sales, and then closing as you guys go forward. And Wes is going to be leading those in the future. Wes is going to be a tremendous resource that you guys need to continue to reach out to. Reputation management, yet another tool here, guys. Now, the positive part is this. We've got 10,082 leads. 10,082 reviews. The negative part is I've got less than 50% of offices engaging in this program. 50% engagement means something very simple. 1 5-star review a month. That's it. That's all engagement means. Now, the reason that you want to do this, and most specifically call yourself out, meaning talk to your customers, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, have them talk about you personally, your name. Have them tell about the story of, hey, what was it like to work like with Scott, right? Have them tell the experience, because I promise you, every one of your customers is going to go look at reviews. If somebody's going to spend tens of thousands of dollars, I promise you they're going to do it. So again, the positive is we've got 10,000 4- and 5-star reviews, but we can do better. This is what will help you in lead flow. The things that we have done on lead flow have helped the SEO, specifically in the last 2 weeks. For example, last week we were up about 60% year-over-year lead flow. 60% is incredible, but also incredibly difficult to do and achieve unless we all do it together, guys. When asking for a review, here's some pointers. Ask from the first phone call. Ask from the first appointment. I've actually had many customers give reviews after the first appointment. And then many times, which is kind of funny, they may not have bought a pool immediately. But the problem is we wait after the 3-month process, and the question is why? Why wouldn't we just keep asking, right? Now, I got to give kudos to some offices. You know, for example, here we've got Heart of Texas, HOT, and some of the guys there. Tremendous job. Obviously, this one's acknowledging some of the things they do. But if you look at 415 reviews, that's pretty dang good. Why? Because the customer's going to look at credibility as you guys end up going forward. That's the idea. It's a credibility game as you get there. Engage. Now, if we were to look at basically March through about September, October, is going to be the high points of our season and going to be the opportunities that we have better than others to achieve these goals. Let's recap some of the sales numbers from January. We are very likely going to adjust these numbers, adjust the dates at which we're going to have sales webinars in the future. Why? Because I want you guys to get more up-to-date numbers. So we may slide it back a week or two in the month so that I can get you, for example, in this case, we would be able to see February numbers. The reason we cannot currently do that is we're still closing out the month. Point being, let's go ahead and recap some of the winners. And again, this is January. January is a really cold month for a lot of markets. And I think all sales success should be celebrated. And I think what has to be happening is you guys, we do send plaques for the winners every single month to every one of these offices. Hang those in your offices with pride. The monthly sales winners, the monthly dig winners, hang those with pride. You guys earned them. You fought hard for those. Sales new market January, Greenboro, 814,000, Orlando, 390,000, and Augusta with 361. Jumping up to our small markets for January, Chattanooga with 907,000, Boise with 864,000, and Fayetteville with 612,000. Jumping up to the medium market in sales, Nashville South, $1 million. Nashville South was freezing with an ice storm in January. So yes, for us to be able to $1 million there is pretty awesome. Ray and Megan in Huntsville with $1,009,000 in January. Cincinnati bringing in $870,000 in January. Fantastic numbers. Jumping up to our large markets, Temecula in January, $711,000 with first. Vacaville with second, $688,000. Houston North, third place with $629,000. Going up to the extra large markets, you got Sacramento with $3.3 million in first place. Again, proving the methodology and how we can win. New Jersey Central with $630,000 and San Diego with $473,000. Sales in January total $33,139,000. Going into digs for January, new markets, Orlando, $644,000, Greenboro with $570,000. And guys, some of these offices are new offices that are just doing some tremendous things right off the bat. Augusta with $348,000. Going up to the small markets, we've got Gulfport and Jimmy Antine with $809,000, Boise with $598,000, and then Chattanooga in third place with $436,000. Going up to our median markets, good dig numbers coming in for the median markets here. Charlotte East takes first place with $1,481,000 in January. Richmond West with $1,134,000 in January, and then Savannah in third place with $828,000 for the month of January. Going to the large markets, Vacaville and Taylor and team with $1,292,000 for Jan. Temecula with $1,034,000, and Austin in third place with $812,000. Going up to the big dogs, again, gotta love this because not only do we sell, but more importantly, we dig and we get paid on digs. Sacramento with $5,770,000 in January for digs. San Diego with $956,000, Inland Empire with $870,000 in digs. Digs in January. One of the months we exceeded sales. That's a strong pull through right there. $35,675,000. And that was actually, and take this away because there's two positives here, guys. That was up 12, almost 13% from a year ago. So we were actually up year over year in digs. The second part is this. Fundings were up 19%, meaning the amount of applications we got for loans and the amount of loans that were actually funded were up 19%. That's a positive, but it's also showing you the importance of knowing financing. Salesperson dig competition again. This is not quite as updated as the live board that you guys see, but this is where we stood as of the last cycle. But now that we got the cool Tri-Wave, you guys don't need that anymore. Going into the Hydura and the fiberglass sales for the month of January. We got Cincinnati, first place, $870,000. Huntsville team, second place with $733,000. Virginia Beach with $420,000 in third place. Fiberglass sales in January total, $6,383,000. Jumping into the digs for fiberglass in January, $548,000 in first place, Nova. Closely at second is Knoxville with $537,000, and then very close to them in third place is Virginia Beach with $511,000. Total digs for fiberglass in January, $5,351,000. The sales competition, as you see, will be updated, but you will need to refer to this one for fiberglass because it does not delineate that quite yet on the board. Guys, this is our goal. You guys should have a picture of this in each of every one of your offices. This is part of the competition. It's fun to be able to win. It's fun to be able to charge forward. Make sure that you guys mark this. You guys should have this as goals in your offices. Atlantis, November 1st through 6th. Save the dates. We've got the owners retreat January 11th through 13th as well. One thing that is going to likely change. This is our current webinar schedule. Look for an updated sales webinar schedule to follow soon so that we can eat numbers and hop on the TriWave. Guys, leave this meeting hopefully inspired, fired up, but leave this meeting knowing that you can find ways to win as well. Just make the choice. Guys, have a great week, and we will see you soon.